I arrived in Innsmouth the same way everything unwanted seems to arrive there. Quietly, under a sky the color of old bruises. The carnival wagons were already parked on the flats beyond the marsh, their painted sides faded and peeling, lanterns glowing weakly like diseased eyes. No music played, no laughter drifted on the air, just the distant surf and the low creak of wood under strain. People said the carnival had rolled in overnight without announcement. No permits, no posters. By morning, children were missing. I told myself I was only there to observe, to write things down. That was my excuse for everything back then. The grounds smelled of damp canvas and rusted metal. My boots sank slightly into the earth, which felt spongy, as if it had been walked on too often by things that didn't leave normal footprints. A line of tents stretched ahead of me. Funhouse, sideshow, menagerie, each one slouching inward, their guy ropes trembling even though there was no wind. Someone laughed behind me. I turned too fast, heart slamming, but there was no one there. The sound had been wrong anyway, too wet, too deep, like a gurgle forced into the shape of amusement. I walked on. Inside the main tent, the air was warmer, thick with incense and something vaguely fishy. Rows of benches circled a low stage. At the far end hung a painted banner, "The Marvelous Oddities of the Deep World." The word deep made my stomach tighten. I sat, listened. The boards beneath me creaked softly, not with my weight, but as if something below was shifting. Somewhere above, a shadow slid across the canvas ceiling, long-limbed, boneless, gone before I could focus on it. A bell rang. Once. Figures emerged from behind the curtain. They were wrapped in costumes. At least, that's what I told myself at first. Too many layers, too much cloth, drawn tight in places where no joint should be. One was billed as the Eel Man, his body bending unnaturally as he bowed. Another, the Guild Lady, smiled without showing teeth. Their eyes reflected the lantern light strangely, glossy and unblinking. I left before the show began. Outside, dusk had deepened into something heavier. The lanterns along the midway flickered, and with each flicker, the carnival seemed closer, tighter, like it was folding in on itself. I passed a ring toss booth where the prizes were small carved figurines, fish, spirals, things with too many eyes. One of them twitched in my hand. I dropped it. That's when I heard the crying. It came from behind the menagerie tent. Thin, tired sobs, barely human. I followed the sound, my pulse in my ears. The ground back there was torn up, churned into mud. Half-buried bones poked through the soil, some clearly human, others altered, lengthened, fused. The crying stopped. A hand clamped onto my shoulder. I spun and shoved, stumbling back into a man in a ringmaster's coat, red once, now brown with age. His face was long and pale, his smile too wide. "You shouldn't wander," he said gently. "The young ones get lost so easily." "Where are the children?" I demanded. His eyes flicked toward the dark between the tents. "They're remembering where they come from." The truth hit me then, hard and cold. This carnival wasn't preying on Innsmouth, it was harvesting it. The people here, their blood already tainted by whatever lurked beneath the waves, were ripe. The children especially, easier to shape, easier to teach the old ways. Something moved behind the ringmaster's face, not an expression, a rearrangement. I ran. The midway erupted in motion. Tents billowed as if something massive shifted beneath them. The performers poured out, their disguises splitting, skin stretching, mouths opening along their necks and ribs, gills fluttering as they hissed and crooned. The laughter returned, now unmistakably hungry. I crashed into the funhouse, mirrors shattering as I passed. Reflections showed me changing, eyes too bright, posture wrong, my shadow lagging half a second behind my movements. At the far end, the ringmaster waited, blocking the exit. "You already hear the call," he said. "Why fight it?" I grabbed a fallen lantern and hurled it at him. Fire blossomed, canvas screaming as it burned. The creatures recoiled, shrieking in voices like surf on rocks. I didn't stop running until the marsh swallowed the carnival behind smoke and flame. They say the grounds are empty now. No wagons, no tents, just scorched earth and bones sinking back into the mud. But sometimes at night, I smell incense on the tide, and when I close my eyes, I can still hear the bell ring once, calling the show to order.